Number just this year. Fear changes behavior. And trust me, people are going to walk right in them little places if they walk for either that D afraid of corrupt. Maybe been on this list. I'll tell you another thing I didn't see on this list was another pandemic. I'm surprised that wasn't on the list, but it was not having enough money, cyber terrorism, biological warfare, pollution of drinking water, people I love dying, people I love becoming seriously ill. And again, I think that's a lot about people don't want to have those kind of thoughts, so we kind of live in this denial place where it won't happen and we don't think about it. I think if we were to think about it a lot, or if somebody you love is going through a medical issue right now, it may be a little closer to the top of your list, right? Russia using nuclear weapons, economic financial collapse was number 2, and corrupt government officials was number 1. Now, the interesting thing is, that was number 1 in 2021 as well. It was number 1 in 2019. It was number 1 in 2018. It was number 1 in 2017. Number 1 in 2016. So we've been worried about this for a while, and yet we don't make any changes. Now, I know how that happens, right? There's a lot of people go, well, I'm not enough of a change. But if we were really this concerned about this, we would be more educated on the entire process. We would take part in the process much more than we do. I'm going to guess most people just kind of vote in presidential elections, kind of locally. It's like, yeah, right? I mean, it's not everybody, right? I know it's not everybody, and this, ballot we got coming up on the 7th, although I believe you can vote early. As a matter of fact, I know you can. People in my building have. There are a couple of issues that I think are going to get people, issue 1 and 2, I think are going to get people out to the polls, to vote, and so, but that's not always the case. I know a lot of people who will openly tell you they only vote in the presidential election, and I've always said, well, I don't know if that's great. I bet your local elections probably affect your day in, day out life a little bit more. But I think if this was really our biggest fear or concern, we would be changing it. I think if this was really our biggest fear or concern, you wouldn't hear this. Oh, you voted third party? You wasted your vote. I don't think you'd hear that if people were really concerned about this. I think more people would be looking for other candidates and trying. You work, because a lot of people will tell a third party voter you wasted your vote. And I always say, well, how did they do it? I know you can repeat, because I think and complaining about corrupt government officials constantly is, wait for it, wasting our vote. Right? Now, there's a little bit of that whole perspective, how do you want to see it thing, right, that I'm always talking about. And I guess that's how I would like to see it, or how I do see it. I think there's more than one way to waste your vote. And I always say this, and look, I'm not the most political guy out there. As a matter of fact, a lot of times I try to stay away from it, right? There are times when hosting a program like this, you can't, where it's like, okay, clearly we're going to have to get it right? But a lot of times I'm like, just kind of stay away from it. I stay away from it. But I have always said, like, America's built on this idea of choice, and you have 2 choices. That seems strange to me. And I've also said this, and I think I'm right about it, that those 2 parties can't, and I like how those 2 parties don't agree on anything except for this one thing.